In today's Gospel, Jesus is challenged about why his disciples are not fasting when John's disciples and the Pharisees are fasting. And Jesus' reply is really interesting. It's only a very short passage in today's Gospel, and I think it can be easy to miss just how important the words that Jesus actually says when he gives his reply really are. He uses the analogy of a bridegroom, and he says, "Do the attendants of the bridegroom fast and mourn while the bridegroom is still with them? No, they don't. But the time is coming when the bridegroom won't be here, and then there will be a time for fasting." Now, what's interesting is when we hear that passage, we often think about the literal reality of Jesus being right there present in that moment in time in history with his disciples, and then, of course, the cross, the resurrection, and his eventual ascension into heaven, and then they are on their own again. But the interesting thing is this: Jesus hasn't just picked a random example. This is not just some random analogy, not some random metaphor. When he talks about the bridegroom, he really means it. He's chosen this terminology on purpose because he really is the bridegroom. Remember the first Adam and Eve, the book of Genesis? Well, the first Adam is put to sleep, and from his side is removed a rib, and then his bride is created from his side. And in this passage here, by talking about himself as the bridegroom, Christ is pointing us to the fact again that he is the new Adam, the second Adam. And he will also be put to sleep. He will be put to sleep on the cross. Remember, the soldiers come round to speed up his death at one point, but they discover that he's already dead. And then after he has died, his side is pierced with a lance, with a spear, and from his side flows blood and water. The blood is symbolic of the Eucharist, the water is symbolic of the waters of baptism. This is the church being born from his side. So just like the first Adam, the second Adam will be put to sleep, and from his side will be born his bride, the church, you and I. And what this passage points us to today is the fact that Lent really is all about preparing for this profound marital moment, which is the cross. And then just days later, Christ will emerge from the tomb, that marriage between his new bride, the church, and Christ. And then the power of the resurrection will produce new life and new fruit such as the world has never seen before. Today's saint quote of the day comes from Saint Jose Maria Escriva, and he said this: "When you approach the tabernacle, remember he has been waiting for you for 20 centuries. And when I saw that quote, I thought, man, this really sums up today's gospel. It points us to the fact that Christ truly is the bridegroom, whose love for us, his bride, is so great that he waits patiently, that he seeks us out across time and eternity. He comes for us. He comes to the cross, which is what we are preparing for throughout this Lent, for you and for me. That's how profound a love that he has for each and every one of us. He really, truly is that bridegroom who loves us and looks at us with this profound adoration. And remember, no matter what it is that you're struggling with this Lent, and maybe today is a really hard day for you, day 3 of Lent, or maybe there's just some other sin that's been hanging around your life, Christ loves you. He wants to be one with you, and he has been seeking you out for literally thousands of years now.